Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Through Black and White Eyes. Apologies for the late video. You know what I'm like. It's me, isn't it? It's meant to be on a few hours ago, but got a few ill people in the house, so here I am late. So it's going to be a brief 15 to 20 minute video of the day. Basically, I mentioned at the weekend that I was going to come on and see what I was going to go do with the channel, but funny enough, there's been a few things come out today as well, and so I'm going to talk briefly about them. We'll go through the comments and everything like that, and so let's get on with it. Also, if you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps out massively for it, helps to grow this channel, and yep, that's the way it is. So let's go. Evening all, evening two. We're going to miss our Rolls Royce. Well, I'll talk about him soon. I've heard a little bit of info. Evening, everyone. Hit the like button, subscribe, consider becoming a member. Yes. You, Gary. Hello. Hi, Gary. Oh, no. Evening, all. And hi, Les. Right. Basically, I want to get this one out of the way because this is a subject that's came up, and it's a subject that I'm not too keen about talking about, but we've got to talk about the good and we've got to talk about the bad. And I'm going to get this one out of the way, and it's about Lascelles and the incident that happened. Basically, it's shocking what's happened. I've seen the video, and obviously there's a police investigation going on. The club are aware about this. What shocked us was I thought originally it was after the Liverpool game, but I found out that it was after the Man City game. Obviously, with the police investigation and what everybody's seen on the video, the club have announced that it will be dealt with internally, which is the right thing to do. The club did put Lascelles on the bench against Liverpool, so that tells me that maybe they are supporting the player quite highly, which is correct, to be honest, because from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it was self-defense by Lascelles. So, and there was a couple of incidents where his friend was attacked and was out for 15 minutes basically, but which is absolutely disgraceful. What it does show is that I was very angry at the weekend about the Liverpool game and how we blew it. But when you put it in perspective about what's happened in Lascelles, it's only football, really, isn't it? And hopefully everything gets sorted. Personally, I don't think Lascelles is going to play much in the near future, which also gets you thinking he was another centre-back forward. But you don't know, it's just all ifs and buts, and this should just be done purely based club internally, and that's all I've got to say about it. It's one of those, and just wanted that one out of the way. Right, go back into the comments. Hi, yeah, Roger. It helps get ice. Kyle's playing outside, but you'll probably hear him in a minute because he's noisy. That's horrible. It is. It's shocking what happened. Absolutely shocking, and it was reported by Craig Hope that basically it was self-defense. So it's absolutely disgusting what happened. And I mean, what more can you say about it? It's just a really, really touchy subject, and it's come out in the media, and it should be dealt with by Newcastle and the police. And that's how I think. That's what I believe. It beats me how a couple of YouTubers consider themselves to be reporters delusional. I'm not a reporter. I just report on Newcastle United, but we've got to do the good and the bad. But this is something, to me, I just keep away from this one. I just want to briefly say that I'm glad everybody's all right and there's been no serious injuries, but it's literally scary. That's what I'm going to say. Spot on, thank you. It was very. I was very angry at the weekend. FPN's been very angry at the weekend. I was. I kept it cool on the watch along because Kyle was next to us. I was just angry and frustrated because I just think we threw the game away from being into so much control. It just like completely. Well, in my opinion, the last 15 minutes, just taking your foot off the gas, individual errors, boom, we've lost the game. And if we want to become champions or compete in the Champions League in the near future, whenever the owners are planning on this, we need to step our game up a bit. And this is the type of game we can't afford to lose. I totally agree with you, Gary. Acknowledge the issue before leave it be for the professionals. 100%. You'll not hear me mentioning this one again in near shows or anything like that. Good evening to you too, Jules, and hi, Jules. Right. Let me get on to some of the news. Apparently, Sven Botman's injury is not as bad as first feared, which is a huge, huge, huge bonus for me because I said it on the show the other day. Sven Botman is the most important player in Newcastle United's lineup for the player getting injured because he's irreplaceable. With the current team we have, that man cannot be replaced. I personally think Tonali, Isak, anybody like that, you've always got cover. Wilson, Bruno, Longstaff, Willock, you name it. Botman's irreplaceable because we haven't got the squad to replace him. So it's been reported he's out for a few weeks, probably going to miss Brighton, but delighted it's not ligament damage. What it does do, though, is obviously with this Lascelles situation and Botman's potential injury, maybe Newcastle now are thinking we might have to make a move in the transfer market for a centre-back. I've known we've needed one for months. I think everybody else knows we've needed one for months. And I've heard name after name after name after name. I've got a couple. Heard a couple of names here. There's nothing. These are just rumours from press, and I'm just going to give my opinion on them. Harry Maguire, absolutely no chance for me. I think he's an absolute liability, and I think he proved what he was when he had the option to go to West Ham, turned it down to sit on the bench at Man United. So also Raphael Varane's just picked up an injury for 6 weeks, so that might delay Harry Maguire going out. I have seen some people happy that we're linked with Harry Maguire, and it would be a loan deal, but not for me. I'm not a fan. I never have been. And yes, he's had his good games for England. He's an England regular, but not for me. Premiership, I've seen him make time, mistake after mistake after mistake. And if you think Dan Burn makes mistakes, you've got, like, this is nothing compared to what this bloke will do. Just go through, click the thumbs up. Frustrated, weren't we all angry? Got a grip, Ashley and Bruce made me angry. To be honest, it was... I agree. I mean, I'm not going to say that you just get... I think I'm angry just because we threw the game away. I'm not angry with the players or the owners or anything like that, or the manager. There was just errors. And I mean, I had a season ticket for years watching Ashley's drivel. And if you want to watch us, I mean, I remember times we were 75 minutes, we were 5-0 down to Liverpool in the first half. So I'm nearly in the first half, sorry. So it's like, it's a role reversal. It was frustrating because Newcastle threw that game away at the weekend. And it was down to individual errors. And that's it, basically. Eddie knows we have a lot of games this season. All he did was protecting players. Apparently Gordon was tired. Joe Linton had a little knock, so Isak I agreed with because Callum Wilson, Isak was a bit isolated in the game, so he brought Wilson on to hold the ball up a bit more. I understand that one, to be honest. And who was the other one? It was Tonali. I didn't understand Tonali, and I still don't understand Tonali because Tonali was controlling that football match from minute one. So I don't know. I think as soon as Tonali went off, the game just changed, and that was it for me. Your chairman, no from me, ditto Roger, and frustrating, I agree completely. Another name I've got, these are just, they're not, one of them's a centre-back, I've never heard of him. It's a player called Thomas, I think it's Thomas Arujo, and he plays for Benfica. And it is a loan to buy option, and he is a centre-back, a right-footed centre-back. Young lad, 21, from Portugal. I don't know much about him. I've just heard his name today. And this could be an agent, this could be press, this could be Newcastle have watched him. First time I've heard his name was today. But he's a centre-back, he's young, and he fits the how profile perfectly. But that's all I know about him. There's a name that's come out, I think it was about an hour ago, but funny enough, he is not a centre-back, he's actually a right winger. And it's Johan Bakayoko, who plays for PSV Eindhoven, right winger, 20 years of age. Another one I'm not fully aware on as a player. I briefly looked through the stats. He's had a couple of assists, a couple of goals. This one to me looks, maybe it's a part of the youth system, part of the squad, is Eddie likes to bring in certain players at a certain age that he can develop. But with him being a right winger, I know some people are unhappy with Miggy at the minute, but this one to me just seems like maybe a January type. I cannot see this one happening this summer. That's just my personal opinion. It's just a name I've seen in the last hour and a half. And have a look at the guy. YouTube have probably got him on, but don't know much about him. But he does fit the mould, just like the previous player. What I was going to talk about was Isaac Hayden leaving the club, and I was going to wish him well and everything, because massive memory of Isaac Hayden was getting a last-minute goal against Chelsea. Absolutely fantastic. The bloke ran his socks off. He was always one of the first teams on the sheet years ago. Stuck by with CDM. You know how much I love a CDM and how much I think we need a CDM right now, but obviously Hayden isn't good enough to do it for us. Was on his way to Luton and the deals fell through. Now, apparently, he was having a medical and he was in London for his medical. And he's coming back. So that tells me he's failed the medical. It hasn't been confirmed, but I think there's clearly an injury, which he suffered 2 years ago, a bad one. And looks to me like that injury might be causing him a few issues now. It's an absolute shame for Hayden, because he is a model professional and he did a cracking job for us. And I do feel sorry for him, because it would have been a move to reignite his career, basically. But I'm surprised to see that he might have 2 or 3 years in his contract. So that tells me Ashley must have given him about a 5 or 6 year contract, which is strange. But anyway, I wish him all the best. He's obviously coming back. I hope it's not medical, because that means Luton could have just, they're linked with Rob Holden now, so maybe that's got something to do with it. And he can find a move elsewhere, but it doesn't seem to be working for him at the minute. And obviously he's on his way back. Briefly go through the comments. Don't players wear fitness monitors? The bench will have way more than we do. They will have their reasons. Yes, they will do. Obviously, players are going to say whether they're tired as well, and I'm sure Eddie communicates to the players, you need to come off. But it's one of those, I think. I've seen people back Eddie's decisions, and I've seen people. So it's one of those, and either way, Eddie will learn from it. I've said that. Any other day that subs would have been a master stroke, but agree with the frustration. I think what happened was I think Bar said it the other day, that Harvey Barnes come on, and within 5 minutes, he had a great chance when he held on to the ball far too long. And if that had went in the back of the net, it's a masterstroke set of substitutions by Eddie Howe, and he made similar substitutions against Aston Villa. So he's quite well in his right to make them substitutions, and I did expect him to take a midfielder off. I didn't expect him to take two off, but Joe Linton looked like he got a little niggle, so that maybe is why he went off. But I mean, personally, I love Bruno. He's my favourite player at Newcastle, but I would have taken him off before Tonali. But I'm not the Newcastle manager. That's just my opinion. What would the loan do by Phoebe? For Hayden, or is this for the player? I'm not sure. I just saw it would be a loan to buy that was potentially on the table for this young defender. That's all I know. I'm expecting probably roughly 10 to 15 million type. He's a young lad. It's not like a Silva. I mean, where this leaves Silva, I don't know, because they both play for Benfica. This is a young lad who I'd expect Newcastle normally pay roughly around the 8 to 15 million mark for young talent. So that's what I would guess. Is he a right or left footer? If you're on about the centre back, he is a right footer. The centre back, yeah, thanks, Ian, for your efforts. We have two writers on loan and maybe join the squad next year. Not sure why, but to be honest, I tend to agree with you because we've got Mentor out who's doing well, and we've got Kwal. But obviously, we don't know how far they're going to be in a year's time. So it's one of those. I mean, the players could come back and he could put them in the squad. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. I don't think Newcastle are going to ever stop buying youngsters because that is the model they're following. And it's frustrating because I know how good some of these youngsters are, but we're not going to see the benefits, and the rest of the country's not going to see the benefits for the next 2 years. But in 2 to 3 years, Newcastle are going to have an unbelievable talent, squad talent, because from what I've seen of certain players, i.e. Mentor and Lewis Miley, these look quality additions. Alex Murphy had a great pre-season, so we're doing the right thing, and don't be surprised till January into next summer we'll buy another 3 or 4 because that's the model they're following. He's not away, still wish him well, so do I. Feel sorry for him. Nothing would surprise me with Ashley, neither would I. Still have nightmares about Mike Ashley right now. Would a failed medical potentially finish Hayden? Yeah, there's no future here. I hope not, because like I said, I like Isaac Hayden. He's model professional. He's done fantastic for it, and he just hit a stage where he was good for it when we were lower down, but as you get better, it just happens. And it happened to David Kelly in 1992. That's the one that sticks out for me. Kelly had an unbelievable season. Keegan sold him. And Keegan sold him because he didn't think he was good enough to go to the next level. And that's exactly what's happened with Isaac Hayden. Better players come in and it happens. It's just football. But I do hope he finds a club and I wish him well. Sounds like Mentor as an advanced development as opposed to Kwal both towns. So I completely agree because Mentor is playing, I think he started for it's Feyenoord, isn't it? I think he started the other day. And I've seen him in pre-season a couple of times. He scored a couple of goals, I think. And pacey player, looks a talented lad, raw talent. But being at Feyenoord is going to help him because that's a fantastic football club. And Kwal had a shocking loan at Hearts, and I felt sorry for Kwal because at the time I thought this might not be a bad loan from him, but it just didn't work out from that loan. From what I saw of him, he got played in, I think it was centre midfield against Rangers, and they got slaughtered. But he's not a central midfielder, so I'm not quite sure why the Hearts manager did that. Ironically, he did come on against Rangers on the last game of the season, I think it was, and he scored in the last minute. So there is a talented lad there, and hopefully the loan he's got now is going to benefit him more than the loan he's just had, because that was a bit of a disaster for him. He said it wasn't. He said he enjoyed the loan and it's made him grow up a bit. So we're just looking on the outside, but hopefully it is. Totally agree. Our young players are going to take us places. We've got some very, very talented youngsters in our squad. No more than Lewis Miley. Incredible, incredible talent. And 17 years of age, and Lewis Miley will be running our midfield very, very soon. That I have absolutely no doubt. Right, what do I want to do here? As for rumours, obviously the transfer window is coming up. I think it's very, very quiet at the minute. And I've heard the odd little name. I think Luke Edwards has come out and said, take this with a pinch of salt, that basically he doesn't think Newcastle are going to make much movement and they're going to stick with Sean Botman. I personally think that's a mistake because Sean Botman, obviously, Botman's one of the best centre-backs in the league, and Shaw is our next number one centre-back, but injuries happen in football games, and we've just seen one with Botman, and suddenly you end up with Dan Burn and obviously Lascelles, we don't know right now. So I'll be very, very shocked if the club aren't looking at a centre-back. I haven't heard massive names. I haven't heard a huge deal in the next couple of days, but Newcastle are never closed for business, ever. And when Eddie Howe says they aren't. And the way they do this is basically that Newcastle will have their targets who they've been unable to get, and anything could happen. Somebody could come in and say, right, you're going to have this player for that deal now that you originally said, and Newcastle will do the deal, right? That's the way they work. I could potentially see a loan signing coming in, defender. Who that is, your guess is as good as mine right now. I would love a number 6, but I can't see it. I did mention I would personally go and ask Man City if they would like the loan with Calvin Phillips right here, because I think putting Calvin Phillips in our midfield would allow Bruno and Tonali to do what they do best. But that's a CDM. Centre-back, I wouldn't be surprised if a loan comes in. It might be a loan with an obligation, or it might be a loan with an option to buy. But I personally believe Newcastle need a centre-back. I think the rest of the pitch, I would make improvements, but it's not as essential as a centre-back for me. And we're seeing that as soon as Sven Botman got injured and went off the pitch. I know he made a mistake for the first goal, but Sven Botman does not make many mistakes. And if you remember that tackle against Salah, the second half, incredible. So I'm always wanting a pacey centre-back, but at the minute, just a good centre-back will do me. And somebody who can cover injuries, because injuries are going to happen. Easy as that. Our model is fantastic. Look at Chelsea's global loans FPs, nothing that says. And people know what I feel like with Chelsea. Chelsea are an absolute shambles the way they do it. And I think it's been seen by teams like West Ham this season that, yeah, sometimes your stars want to leave, but if you replace them stars, then you can replace a star with 3 or 4 players. And West Ham, for me, have made some really, really good signings this summer. And Chelsea are the complete opposite. Chelsea, I know they say they're playing Football Manager. To me, they are playing Football Manager, because they see a player's name like Mudryk, and then Bowligans, well, like the sound of him, buys him, and then all of a sudden, hit and miss. Plus, they're giving ridiculous 8-year contracts out, which is going to absolutely shaft them in the next couple of years, because not every one of these players are going to be stars for them. There's going to be players that flop, and they are in serious mess, because it's going to cost a fortune to get these players out of Chelsea because of the stupid contracts. Sports news drama, just saying deal off, but not confirming it. Yeah, there's been no official reason as to why. I'm just going off what Craig Hope and Keith Downey said, that basically he was in London for a medical, but the deal's off. I'm just assuming it's medical problems. I have heard a couple of people say that it is a medical problem, but they are interested in Rob Holding now, maybe the number one target come up, but Rob Holding's a defender. Aiden's a midfielder, so that tells me maybe it's medical, but I hope it's not. I hope it's not for his benefit. I can't say a DM in this season, to be frank. Our model doesn't seem to use one. I completely agree. I can't see one, but I think if we don't buy a DM this season, especially away from home or against the big sides, I think this season you're going to see why we need one and why we will buy one in the summer, because every top team in this world has a top CDM. The greatest teams ever, your Real Madrids, your Barcelonas, your Man United, Roy Keane, Busquets, Casemiro, and then you had the geniuses around them. But they were the men in the middle of the park who did all the hard work. Every team. Arsenal's Invincibles, they had Petit at the time. And Paula, people like that. There's always a strong person in the middle of the park. I think we've got one. But I think he's a bit erratic, and he's not a CDM. And that's Joe Linton. And I think adding a CDM to that midfield, maybe Joe Linton going on the left at times. I know Gordon's on fire, but just this is what's got to happen. We've got a squad, Champions League. You have to do it. Jota was not playing at the weekend, but he's played the rest of the season, so example. So I think in this year you will see why we need a CDM, but I don't think we will buy one this summer. Fake or I'm no Chelsea. Chelsea don't have a value for a player. They just pay whatever they think. It's monopoly money. Yeah, and they do like staggered payments, and that's why they do 8-year contracts, and it's ridiculous the way they're doing it. And it will flop. It's going to fall a bit. Right, that's all of the info I've got today, because like I said, there's not much around at the minute. And I think that's basically because the club are keeping everything very quiet, and that's the way it should be, personally. And it's, as soon as we do hear anything, I will let you know. I will give you my opinion on what I think of these players as well. One thing that I am expecting is I'm expecting this Adidas deal to be announced soon, because I'd be shocked if they don't announce it before episode 4, because I have seen briefly a video on the episode, and the CEO was in it and everything like that. So I would be very, very shocked if this isn't announced very soon. And this is the deal that's going to take Newcastle on the next level, without a shadow of a doubt. And I like Astoria short shirts, I do like them, but they're an absolute shambles when it comes to getting stock in. So it's not good enough. So, future of the club. Right. Me plans for the future. Basically, I have obviously I've had some changes in my life. So now Baz asked us if I wanted to come in with him, and I said yes, which was a few weeks ago. I agreed to do it because it's what I love doing. I love football, I love Newcastle United, and I have some ideas that Baz can't do, unfortunately, due to commitments and where he lives and everything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out and about. So whenever transfers, certain things happening, I will be at St James's, or I will be at the training ground, anything like that. Sometimes I'll take the kids with us because I've promised them. But that is my plan. I want to get out and about. And unfortunately, this is what Baz wants to do, but he can't do because of commitments and work and everything like that. So this is what I'm going to try and do. And I think it'll boost the channel because a lot of people do it, and I like to get out and I like to get to the ground. And if I can somehow spot a player, spot a signing, spot a legend, I'll see if they want to speak, anything like that, and I will bring it onto the channel. And when I, like, say, if transfers, for example, if it comes out the blue, I will try my best to get there, and I will post it on YouTube and Twitter. And obviously keep an eye out for it all, but keep an eye out for signings, and I will try my best with it. And that's it, basically. I'm going to get to more try and get to the Benfield games as well. And I'd like to get some people on the show who I personally know who are involved in football. So see if we can get them on as well. I have asked a couple of them and they have said yes. There's some people I do know closely connected to the club as well, who aren't involved in the club, but they know the club very well. And I reckon they will come on the shows at times as well. So exciting times. I can put a lot more effort in it now than I have been the last year because I've just been a guest. But hopefully I can give you content that you enjoy, and I can't wait to do it basically. But briefly go through the comments before I go because I can hear my kids coming in and the noises. Cheers for the heads up. Oh, you're all right too, but I am. Thanks very much, Gary. Great for your time and effort. Thank you for joining us. Looking forward. Solid plan. I think it is because I think it's what a lot of people do. It's what a lot of others do as well. And I like our shows. I think our shows are great and the watch-alongs and everything like that. But I think getting out to the ground, getting out there, seeing who front spot, certain players, get interviews, you name it, I think that's going to benefit the club. And hopefully I hit lucky. Looking forward to it, Gary. Sounds great. Got lots to look forward to. I completely agree. Exactly, Lee. Next 3 positions that need strengthening. CDM for me. Right centre back to partner Botman, and I personally think we need a right winger at some point. But some of them centre back might happen this summer. I hope it does. The other ones will happen in the future. I think my prediction is Newcastle are going to have a very, very, very big summer next summer because the deal will come. The deal will come in from Adidas. Plus, I personally think people like Sir Callum Wilson. There's another one I had in my mind, another player. Yeah, Dan Burns, people like that. They're probably going to come squad players, or they might even leave and they're going to be replaced. So a striker will probably come in next summer as well. But I think the main striker will come in. And I love Isaac, I really do. I think Isaac could be the next Thierry Henry, but he can't do it himself. So hopefully, but I'm going to go centre back, right wing, and CDM. That's what I think will be the next 3 signed. Do you live locally St James's Park? I do. I live in Gator. So I'm literally a 5 to 10 minute drive to St James's Park. So no problem at all getting down there. 5-year charge with peace and proper conduct. Very glad about that because basically deserved it. He shouted it and told the ref it was an effing joke in his face. So they're trying to clamp down on this, so I completely agree with that. Champions list, time to push to 7k and not be 10k and beyond. Share your socials, people. 100%. And I think the idea I have, which Baz, this isn't new to Baz wanted to do this. And like I said, commitments coming the way. The reason I am doing more shows now is because I haven't got the commitments that I had a month ago, and that's why I'm able to do this. So it's exciting anyway. After the signing off, is Wilson in his last year? He might actually be, yes, because there is rumours that Wilson has turned a contract down because he's not happy with the terms and the length. But I'm not convinced because purely I think Newcastle are going to the next level now, and as much as Callum Wilson's been a star for, I'm not sure he's not going to be the future of Newcastle's football club, especially striker going forward. So when the deal comes in, I can see a very, very, very talented player coming in. If we get Champions League next season, I'm talking about an Osherman type signing. I'm not saying it's him, but I think that's what they'll go, the level they'll go to. Good luck with the future. Thank you very much. Any thoughts on Harrison Ashby's goal? Did you say it? I did say it, and I think everybody knows that I am a Harrison Ashby fan. I think I heard a lot of good info from West Ham fans before we signed him. And I think this loan's going to do him the world of good. In the beginning, I wasn't sure about the loan because I think we had a lot of games anyway. But after signing Livramento, I think this will do him the world of good. And Ashby's a very, very, very talented young player because not only can he defend, he can also attack. And he has got a sweet shot on him. And I saw the goal from behind, so I didn't see it properly, but cracking finish. If Liz and Leeds will only buy one top side at such a guy, I don't think Wilson will leave this summer, but I personally think Wilson will be away next summer. That's just my opinion. It's nobody else's. But I think it's not necessarily now, but I think it's a position next season that will be looked at and improved. Right, so thanks everybody for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully I can take the channel further and give you content that I think is going to make the channel better. And Baz agrees with it. He's happy. Stuff hopefully Baz can do at some point as well, because he would like to do it. But obviously, when going out and about, it's probably mostly going to be me. So anyway, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you soon. Bye.